The cats love having so many windows that they can look out of, and she has never been so happy in her life. Hello, my beautiful besties. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Bookmas video. In this video, my patrons will be controlling my weekend. So it is Friday, and Friday is my day off. And so I basically put in my Discord, I think like 12 or 13 different polls and had my patrons vote on what they wanted to see me do this weekend. So as you just saw, I just got ready for the day and I asked my patrons if I should be casual or dressy. And they picked casual, as you can tell, and I love that for me. Honestly, I'm even in sweats. We're in sweats. So yes, we are casual today. We are as casual as can be, and technically we are not leaving the house today because I even asked them, should I go grab coffee? Should I read at a coffee shop? Should I go grab food? No. Everything was order in, get cozy on your couch and read, and I love that for me. I don't know if that's gonna make an interesting vlog, but I love it for me. So since we're staying in today, I ordered coffee. It just got here via Jared. I was gonna just order it out, but he ended up bringing it home. And I asked if I should just get my usual, which is a matcha with vanilla, or if I should try something new. And obviously they were praying for my downfall and they said that I should try something new. So I ended up getting a chai with oat milk. I surprisingly haven't tried a chai here at this coffee shop, maybe because I love their matcha so much. This is my favorite coffee shop. It's a local coffee shop. It's been featured in probably like all of my vlogs because I'm addicted to their matchas. Love them so much. So again, you guys were praying on my downfall because a chai. I do love chai, but am I in the mood for one right now? No. Listen, this is pretty delicious. This is pretty delicious. This is actually very wintry. I've really been loving like the spices recently. I really want to make gingerbread cookies, but again, the Patreon was preying on my downfall and told me to make something different. They didn't want me to make gingerbread cookies. So I still need to go to the grocery I still need to go to the grocery store because that is the one thing that I do need to go get is some baking supplies. I think I'm gonna make like peppermint bark cookies or something like that. I've really been on the peppermint bark train recently. I can't stop eating peppermint bark, but I was also thinking that I would kind of twist the rules for myself, right? Because you said no gingerbread cookies. That's specifically what I said. So maybe I'll make a gingerbread loaf. I should also tell you what I'm reading. So I had them vote between The Will of the Many and The Book That Wouldn't Burn and The Will of the Many one, which I'm so excited about. I mean, I'm excited either way because these are two books that I've really wanted to read, but The Will of the Many has just been calling to me recently. I've been seeing so many good reviews from my friends, and like some of the Goodreads videos have been going up recently, and a lot of people have been talking about The Will of the Many in those Goodreads videos. So I'm super hyped for this one. The Goodreads videos though have made me a little less hyped for The Book That Wouldn't Burn, but maybe that's good. Maybe adjusting my expectations will be a positive thing. That being said, if I do by some miracle finish The Will of the Many, which I don't think I will because I'm pretty sure this is like over 500 pages. Yeah, I think it's closer to 600 pages. I will mood read. It was voted on that if I finish this, I can mood read. The options were to either mood read or to pull from my Witchwood jar. So my Patreon is called Witchwood, and I have a jar with all of their book recommendations or books that they just like want to see me read. So I was like, if I finish this, I can either pull a book from there and read something you guys want me to read, or I can mood read. And mood read only won by like one vote, so it was very close. The other thing about this is I'm supposed to be reading this physically, but I'm also going to listen to the audiobook while I'm reading this because I do like tandem reading, and at some point we're going to be playing video games because it's a cozy day in, and that's what y'all voted for me. So I will have to listen to the audiobook at some point because I don't know how else I would read and play Fae Farm at the same time. Also, Fae Farm has me in a chokehold, an absolute chokehold. Anyway, let's get this day started. It's now 1:30, it is lunchtime, and Patreon has decreed that I order my lunch to get delivered. So you know what I haven't had in a while? Pizza. So I'm ordering pizza. I think for sure I'm getting a Greek salad. Definitely getting a Greek salad. Okay, I think I'm just gonna get a simple pepperoni pizza. I also have a hot chicken pizza that they call Hot Chick, and I'm really tempted to get that. But anyway, I think I'm just getting the pepperoni one. I'll update you when it's here. Okay, it's like 3 o'clock. I've been reading for most of the day. I took a break to have some lunch, and now we're back. And I am, this doesn't give me a page. I am 200 pages into Will of the Many, and I'm really enjoying it. We have a main character named Vis, and basically he is an orphan, and he does have sort of a past that I can't really talk about because it's not in the synopsis, but he is telling people that 3 years ago he was orphaned because his family was in a tragic accident. Now he's moving forward in his life, and in this society there's this thing called the will, and the will is like leached from people, but you do for the most part have to consent to give will, and this will is kind of powering the government, the machine that's controlling the entirety of this world. And Vis is vehemently against this machine. He's against the government, but he ends up getting in a situation where this guy, I think the way you pronounce his name is like Olsizer or something like that. He comes into the picture and he wants to adopt Vis. And Vis is like, oh my God, is this guy on to me? But it turns out they need someone to infiltrate the Cantonin Academy. I think that's also how you pronounce it. I haven't been listening to the audiobook at this point. Vis is essentially being used to infiltrate this academy because Olsizer, if that's his name, who adopted Vis, he's of the belief that something is going on at this academy, that the headmaster is up to something and is possibly the reason that his brother has died. So Vis on one hand is really excited for this opportunity in ways, but on the other hand, he's not sure if this is a revenge plot just for Olsizer or if he really truly believes that this headmaster is corrupt. So I think what's really cool about this book so far is like the world building is really interesting. It is definitely complex, and I'm not gonna lie, it's taken me rereading certain chapters to understand things. That could also just be me. My head is all over the place right now, so my attention span is very small, very tiny, very pea brain energy going on right now, so that could be the problem. But at this point, 200 pages in, I've definitely figured things out. I think I know what the will is. I think I know what sappers are. I think I know what some of these terms are that we keep seeing over and over again just based on context alone. I'm also very excited for the academy setting. We have seen a glimpse of it. So basically there was this big accident that happened and they ended up at the academy after the accident. And then Olsizer, is that his name? Do you think that's how you pronounce it? Probably not. Anyway, his adopted dad, that's what I'm gonna call him. He sends Vis to the house of one of his very close friends to get trained and kind of educated because his education so far is clearly lacking for what the academy is looking for. So to make sure he looks legitimate in this academy, he's gone to get some training. So we see a glimpse of the academy, and now we're kind of in this training montage situation, which I also really love. I love training montages, so this is really working for me. And on top of that, we should be going to the academy soon. I feel like by the halfway point we're gonna get there because this training montage can't be that long. The other thing that's super interesting about this book is like the politics, because the will is very intertwined with politics, and actually Vis's adopted dad is pretty high up in government. There have definitely been many conversations about the government and especially Vis's feelings on the government. I think this is interesting to be getting it from his POV because he's very anti the will and ceding, which from my understanding of ceding is when you are giving up will to somebody, like you are actively giving up the will that you carry to another person. Also, from what I'm seeing, the whole will situation is very much, it's people who are in lower positions giving their will to people in higher positions. So in a lot of ways, this book to me, like the way the world building is, the way the world is, and the fact that our main character Vis, he talks of a world previous to the will, feels very dystopian in a lot of ways. And I'm just really enjoying it. I'm very excited to get to the academy, like actually get there, but I'm really loving the training scenes right now. So I'm having a good time. I could definitely see this being like a strong 4 or 5 stars. Hello. So it's like 8 o'clock. I did finally make gingerbread loaf. I have consumed dinner. We did eat ramen because you know what? We were already ordering things out. Why not? Why not treat ourselves to dinner as well? That's not a good mentality to have, but that is the mentality that I had today. Anyway, we had ramen. I made the gingerbread loaf. I listened to a little bit more of Will of the Many. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't get that much further, mainly because I've been struggling with a headache since eating ramen and like drinking tons and tons of water and taking some medication. I am feeling a little bit better. So I'm gonna play some more Fae Farm and listen to more of Will of the Many. But the small amount that I have listened to since I updated you last was great. It continues to be great. I'm just gonna play Fae Farm for a little while and then I'll probably just go get in bed and start reading Will of the Many. I know physically, I almost sit on my Kindle, but I have to read it physically. So I will get into bed and read it physically. Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll do that. Good morning, friends. It's day 2 of Patreon Controlling My Weekend, which is also the last day of Patreon Controlling My Weekend. So it is like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning right now. And what compelled me to eat gingerbread loaf right now, I don't really know, but that's what I'm doing. I have my tea and I have my gingerbread loaf, but I frosted it this morning because it was too hot last night and I was too tired. Is this gonna be something I regret? Probably, but it's the holiday season. By last night, I ended up getting a quarter of the way into Will of the Many and I'm still really, really loving it. Like the world just continues to be extremely interesting and our main character is one of those characters that's like a little bit annoying, but also just extremely intelligent. And he also has such an interesting backstory in general, and I'm liking where this is going. I have constantly heard that the ending of this book ends in a way where you need book 2, so I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading now. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook today because I wanna play some more Fae Farm right now while I eat my gingerbread loaf that I'm sure to regret. I also think I'm gonna order some coffee again, but this time I'm gonna get a matcha. It's me again. I'm back to reading. And I just had a little thought. This is not a spoiler. I just had a little thought. We all know, right, that this was ending up in him going to this academy. And he has to be a spy, you know? He has to be a spy. He needs to know how to hold things back. Be a little smarter, you know? And this whole time, his character has been built up to be very smart, very well educated. He spent however many weeks with his trainer, training him on how to navigate the academy the best that he can since he grew up as an orphan and again wasn't as well educated as he should have been for the academy, but still very well educated. And somehow they missed the unit on training to be a spy because he's just telling anybody any old thing. Also, why is he bringing so much attention to himself? And you still think you're going to be able to sleuth around this place and figure out whatever they need you to figure out? You're a spy. Just go with the flow. Blend in, my guy. Just blend in. Anyway, those are just my morning thoughts. Just my morning ruminations. To you, every time I get a package, I don't have the patience to just wait to open it on camera, so I don't. And so I opened a package, and Michaela, my sweet, sweet patron, she sent me a gift, and I knew that it was coming. She let me know that it was going to be delivered today, and it's Natural Beauty, which I really, really want to read this, hence why I got it from the library. So obviously I didn't know what she was going to be getting me. I'll just return this when I go back to work tomorrow. But thank you so much. I'm so excited. Obviously, because I wanted to read it. So that being said, I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. I ended up getting Man-Made Monsters because I was very interested in this. It says horror fans will get their thrills in this collection from werewolves to vampires to zombies. Did I know this was a collection? So going into this one, clearly didn't know that it was a collection, but I'm still gonna give it a shot. I don't normally like short story collections, but I think this might work for me. I haven't really read a horror short story collection, I don't think. Oh no, that's a lie. I read NaNoWriMo's horror short story collection. So anyway, gonna try this one out. And then the rest of these, you're going to see a theme. Basically, Natural Beauty, Mamie, The Collected Regrets of Clover, Shark Heart, and Adelaide. These are all on the long list. I don't know if all of them made it to the short list, but they're all on the long list in the Goodreads Choice Awards, all for different categories. One of them is horror, 2 of them are literary fiction, I think 2 are historical fiction, and historically, I don't read historical fiction and literary fiction as often. So I wanted to get some that sounded really interesting to me, and I'm gonna try to read them and see, because I've been having an identity crisis with my reading tastes. And so I'm just checking out some of these more popular books and seeing how I feel. It's probably a bad idea since 2023 hasn't had good releases for me personally. So that's what I got at the library. I had a really good time. I always love going to the library because it feels so cathartic to be able to grab as many books as you possibly want, and there's no cost to you. Anyway, I'm gonna change back into comfortable clothes and start listening to Will of the Many and go back to playing Fae Farm because it has me in a chokehold.
Oh, I'm fighting anyway? Oh my god.
I thought someone screamed.
Are we all on the same team? We're all the same.
So it is about 5:30 right now, and I have been reading for most of the day, but then I was like, I really need to start editing some stuff. So I stopped reading Will of the Many to start editing, but I wanted to actually update some more about Will of the Many because I am at the halfway point, and like I've been saying this whole time, I've really been enjoying it. This book has such a good balance of pacing, but it's also just a little bit more fast paced, and I think that's what I needed because I'm coming off the cusp of reading the top 10 in the fantasy category for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and one of my huge problems in that video with most of the books, if you watched it, was pacing. I feel like I've just been reading so many slowly paced books, and I don't normally mind that, but I think obviously it has to be time well spent in those slow moments. So now I'm like, man, I wish this would have made it into the top 10 of the Fantasy Goodreads Choice Awards, not just to read it in that vlog, but also because I think it's so deserving to be in the top 10. It's really what I was looking for while reading all of those books. So anyway, being at the halfway point, really loving the pacing. I do enjoy our character Vis a lot. He's one of those characters that like makes me have visceral reactions, because what I said earlier when I was like, man, just go with the flow and stop drawing attention to yourself. Well, he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop drawing attention to himself. He just continues to do it. He does uncover some really creepy and really cool things at the same time. So I can't fault him for that. He did sleuth to the best of his sleuthing abilities, and he uncovered some things, and they were interesting things. I thought that maybe the world building and the magic system, because it was so difficult and complex, was gonna really hold me back with this book, but I feel like you just get the gist of it as you keep going forward. Even though I don't have the full grasp of anything by any means, I do feel like I have a good enough understanding, and there's a glossary, by the way, which I found out, you know, like a quarter of the way through this book, and that's really been helping. Like, even besides that, I think things are referenced in a way and so often that you kind of just pick up on it. I don't know if that's intentional or not. I'm interested to see how that feels going into the second book whenever that comes out. We should check right now, actually, when the second book is coming out. The Strength of the Few. January 1st? That's a lie. That can't be real. January 1st, 2024. That seems like a placeholder. That can't be real. There's no cover. We need to do our own amateur sleuthing. Oh, he has updates on his website. So he updated 12/2023. So the timeline in my last update, I thought I'd probably be submitting it early 2024. The relatively vague statement still holds true. I expect, barring any significant external factors, to have this to the publisher on track before my next update in March. So it'll probably come out in March, right? Because that's when this one came out. Oh my gosh. I think I could finish this in the next couple of days, but I'm definitely not going to finish it within the time frame of Patreon controlling my weekend. That being said, though, I am going to come back and give my final thoughts. A few days later, but I told you that I would update you when I finished The Will of the Many. I finished it. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The ending was everything everyone said it was, which is explosive, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and there's so much that happens just in a short period of time. There's 2 epilogues, and already in the last 25%, so much was happening, so much was coming together, but also being revealed, and plot twists and turns were happening left and right, and it was so much fun. I mean, I gave you already a lot about this book and what this book is about, so I don't have too much more to say, but I can say the ending was very satisfying. Despite the cliffhanger, it was very, very satisfying because I want to go into the next book. I'm excited for the next book. I'm excited about the series. I haven't really been this excited about a new release series in a while, and this is such a good feeling because I've said this time and time again, I haven't been having the best luck with 2023 releases. So for this one to be a hit, a banger, a 10 out of 10. No, we needed it at the end of 2023. I'm also going into 2024 with the motto of good books 2024. But I will say the weekend that the patrons controlled was a 5 out of 5. Okay, 10 out of 10, if you will. It was a really great time. I had so much fun. Thank you everyone who voted in the polls, and thank you for watching if you've made it this far. Speaking of, if you've made it this far and you have nothing else to say, please leave a scale emoji, which looks like this, or if there's a pillar emoji, leave a pillar, something like that, dark academia themed. And I will talk to you tomorrow in the next Bookmas video. Bye friends.